Another software update. Thank you. Let's please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And please remain standing for a moment of silence for all those men and women who sacrificed their lives in order for us to serve our country and our town. Thank you. Okay. I need a motion to approve the agenda.
I make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, so moved. Motion to approve the minutes from the April 14th, 2025 Town Board meeting.
I'll make the motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, so moved. Authorize the payment of bills of $280,191.47.
I make a motion to authorize payment of bills of $280,191.47.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, so moved. My updates for this meeting, there's a few things I'd like to talk about. First, the Highway Department building, the completion date is supposed to be May 9th. May 8th, we're having our final walkthrough with our engineering team, all the trades that are on site to go over any issues that the engineering thinks there are outstanding. But technically, the 9th is the completion date, but I'm assuming they're probably going to pick a few things out that they're going to have them do, but that's a good thing. On that note, today I submitted all the paperwork to get reimbursement of the grants, which totaled $450,000 from Senator Hinchy and Assemblyman Jacobson. So that paperwork has been submitted, and usually that takes a couple months to get back. These types of grants are pretty quick on the turnaround. So that's the update on the highway building.
Does it look like they're going to make it for May 9th?
Yeah, all the inside's pretty much done. Right now they're working on flooring and the ceiling tiles and the drop ceiling and stuff like that. Painting's all done, plumbing's all done. I would say 95% electric's done, and yeah, I think they're going to meet their target because furniture's coming. Office furniture will be here this end of this week. So the point was they had to have the floors and everything done so that when they deliver it, it could go straight in. So, and I told them we need to really get this done because I don't want to pay another month on, all of us don't want to pay another month of rentals for those trailers. So we got to get them out of there. So, I mean, there's going to be stuff outside that needs to be done that our guys are doing, but as far as the trades and the majority of the project will be done then. So that's good news.
A total different contractor from the one we had at the community center, huh?
Yeah, just a little different. The good thing on this project too, it's an occupied building, an occupied site, so there's always someone there, which means, the way it works is the town becomes the GC on the job for the most part. You have to oversee all the trades yourself, but in this case, you had John and Gary and all the guys pretty much GC in the job because they were on site all day. So, which works out great because if there's any issues right away, it's resolved. But the guys themselves took care of a lot of issues themselves within house. So, I can't say enough about all the work they've done themselves to save us all money. So, it came out really nice.
It looks nice from the outside. It really
Yes,
does.
they are starting planning for the pickleball courts. They have the site picked out. They have it all worked out what they want to do. So that work is in the works. Again, it'll be done this year. I can't give you an exact date, but it will be done. And again, it will be down by the pavilion area. I have not heard anything further on our electric charging stations, other than they were waiting on Central Hudson and some paperwork to be resolved. But once I get that, I'll let you know. I did go to a few events this Saturday, which were great. Arbor Day event, which was held at the dog park at Sands Avenue. It was put on by the Friends of the Milton Landing Park, the CAC, our CAC committee, and the Marlborough Arts Coalition. They also unveiled the Apple Parade, a few of them. I think there was about 6 or 7 of them there this week. There's a whole bunch of them, but these are the apples that are going to be displayed around the town that we approved of probably a few months ago at this point. But all the artists decorated each individual apple, and they're all unique to one another. They came out really awesome. It was a really good event. I didn't think we were going to have it because it was raining, but it ended up working out. And then we went to the light ceremony at the Marlborough Youth Baseball Field, thanks to Sheridan, who got it, the field prepped. I don't know if you want to talk about it a little, and the guys that organized it, but they did an awesome job, and it was a 40 years in the coming, so it was pretty cool.
No, it turned out to be a very nice ceremony, although the weather did everything it possibly could to try to prevent us from having it. This was our second try at the ceremony, but the rain let up enough in the afternoon, and I convinced the baseball guys to tarp the fields on Friday night. So the hard thing about tarping the fields is that then you have to untarp the fields, which you have to push all the water off of the tarps first, or suck it off with a pump, and then actually remove those soaking wet tarps. So they did that, luckily. Very, very kind to us in getting that done, and worked for probably 3 hours on drying out the fields, and with speedy dry and sand and all of that to get the field playable.
And you were doing it up to the point we were...
Yeah, and the field looked great. With the ceremony was at 6 o'clock. It looked great about 5:45, and then at about 5:50 it downpoured again. So it was quite an undertaking, but the board, the baseball board, the current board, is very dedicated and willing to put in literal back-breaking labor to make sure that we had the ceremony, and we were very fortunate that we had several past board members who participated in the ceremony as well. Vince Manisi was there, who's a past president of Marlborough Youth Baseball and Softball. Rick Schmeltz was also a past president who was there. Kevin Beck Sr. was there, who I learned this actually after the ceremony, that he has, I think, literally constructed most of the buildings on that property over the years by himself. And his son now is on the board and has continued to construct a lot of things on the property. So really, really nice ceremony with a lot of real impactful, legendary people. We called them the Marlborough Youth Baseball Legends because they've all contributed so much to the program. But it was awesome, and Scott, Tommy, and Dave were there with us as well, and it turned out to be a very nice ceremony. And then the kids played their official night game under the lights, and it was awesome.
Oh, who won? Did Blue win? I don't know the name.
Kevin Beck Contracting pulled it out, which was gray, but it was a good game, and Crackalichi Pools was the other team, and they were ahead for a good portion of the game as well, so they battled it out right to the end.
Yeah, that one young youth there, he's like, we beat him bad last time, we're going to beat him again, no problem. I was like, okay, all right.
I'll tell you what, people are very into travel baseball these days, but the kids really, really, from their core, love playing rec baseball against their friends in their town. So it's really nice to see. They truly love it.
Well, you did a great job. I think, the highway department did a lot of work on that field, so we want to thank them too.
Huge.
Preparing it, and I know Dave did a lot of work over the years on that field for it. So it's just
more this year.
Kevin Beck's done a lot of work there.
Awesome.
So, the greatest thing, like I said at the thing, it's like, and I said it at the Arbor Day event, when you have the public, private, and the volunteerism all working together, that's when you get the most done for your community, and in the most economical way too. So everybody has a little piece of the pie, and it comes together. So, this is another situation that actually worked, and seems to be a lot of the things that have been going on lately. That's what we've been doing. So it's nice to see. So, I want to, again, thanks to Tom getting the county grant for our legislator. That was a $100,000 grant there. So without that, and then the Aldrich family and Jeff for donating the property. If we didn't get the property donated, like I said at the ceremony, we wouldn't be able to get the grant, and we wouldn't be able to do any of this. So again, it all comes together. So, but great job by everybody. So thank you. But and then I did go to the firemen's, Milton Firemen's dinner that night, where we had 2 honorees. And Joe Kovacs has 50 years of service, and Bruce McElrath, 60 years of service. And I had Gail speak for the both of them, because obviously he's more closely related to him. But, Bruce, he says, is still very, very active, 60 years straight, and he still shows up at almost all the fires and every call. So it's unbelievable that you can get people to
That's amazing.
volunteer 60 years straight, 50 years straight. It's unbelievable. So it was a great event, good night. Assemblyman Jacobson came, he gave some commendations. The legislator, Gina Hansett and Tom Corcoran were there, gave the stuff from the county and on behalf of the county executive. So it was a nice event to end the day. But it was a long day, rainy day, but we got through it. So, and there's more to come. So I even though I'm doing kind of out of order, I don't know if Arlette wants to speak about Wednesday's event quick, just to give an update on that while we're talking about events.
So Wednesday we have, the rec committee is hosting our first ever Spring Fling fundraiser. It's at Brick's Gastro Pub in Marlborough. They've been kind enough, the boys, Teddy and Frank, there to donate the space and the light snacks. We have some entertainment, and basically it's a gathering starting at 7 p.m. to raise funds to plant flowers in front of all of the Marlborough storefronts and businesses throughout the hamlet. And we've had a lot of success thus far, businesses donating, so I just want to mention them briefly. Amadeo's, DiDonato's, Schenker's Optometry, DJ Plumbing and Heating, Premier Agency, which is the Marlborough Resort, Dottie Leaf Co., Kedem Winery, T. Coupart Construction, and Versatile Electric have all donated prior to the lead-up of the event. So we encourage anybody who's interested to come out, make a donation, and we're going to plant the town of Marlborough on Sunday, May 18th.
Thank you.
While I'm up here, I just want to do a little shout out to the Memorial Day Parade is right around the corner. It is May 25th, and we have 16 committed organizations already signed up for the parade. But if you're interested in participating, you can take a look at our Facebook page, and it has all the sign-up details.
Awesome.
Thank you.
No, thank
you.
you.
Very
Great job. Yeah, get a lot of participation, a lot of donations, which is great. Thanks to those businesses and everybody personally that donated, but I'm sure we'll raise a lot more on Wednesday at Brick, 7 o'clock. Anybody wants to come, just bring your checkbook, and Arlette will surely collect your check, which then goes to Chris, and it goes into our account, and we use it to buy all the flowers. So, thank you very much. So, and then on Sunday, if anybody's interested, I know the Marlborough Firehouse is also doing a pancake breakfast from 7:30 to 11 this Sunday, the 4th. If anybody's interested, that's a fundraiser for the Marlborough Firehouse. So there's always something going on in Marlborough and Milton and in the town of Marlborough. And this is the time of the year that it gets kind of crazy. So, it's pretty awesome to see everything going on. So that's all I got.
It's the Blossom
Oh, and the
Festival on
Blossom
Sunday
Fest is
also.
on May, I'm sorry, correct. Thank you, Sharon.
Yeah.
Blossom Fest is also on May 4th, right? Down in the Milton Hamlet. And I believe that is from 12 to 4 in the Milton Hamlet. The Blossom Festival, which is always a good time. And Meet Me in Marlborough always does a good job. So, yeah, again, just more and more stuff going
Lots
on.
to
So
do.
it's awesome. So anyway, let's move on, because I'll talk forever. And I know Arlette doesn't like that. So, presentations, I don't have any presentations. Anybody have any comments on the agenda? Reports of committees. You did your report, so now Mickey, you got
She
your report.
didn't mention, though, that we did also have the Easter egg dash.
Oh, yeah, you could
You
talk.
forgot it's so far in the past already that you forgot about the Easter egg
You
dash.
talk about it, go ahead.
No, it was great. The event went, I think it was the smoothest setup and execution of the Easter egg dash since I've been on the rec committee, which is, a good handful of years now. Very well attended, which is great because it was a Saturday in April when all of the sports and things were going on, so we had a lot of competition for events, but the attendance was great. Tina did an amazing job, as she always does, of ordering the eggs and upping the egg order.
You should mention Penny.
Okay, I will do that, but I don't want to blow the... Penny has a very critical role of playing a very important character at the Dash. I don't think too many kids listen to our meetings, but Penny is our Easter bunny, and she does a fantastic job every year. But my child, for one, is traumatized from seeing the Easter bunny without its head on once at a rec committee meeting, so I try to be really careful about talking about this in front of
Sitting at
children.
the bar at Brick.
But Penny did a great job. Tina did an awesome job in ordering the eggs. The highway department contributed and transported all of the eggs from here to the Dome. Rec committee was, staffed in full force. The committee, I know I talk about this a lot, but it just gets bigger by the day. We had photos taken by Katie Wallace, who does a lot of the sports events in town. So she took pictures of all the kids with the Easter bunny, and the setup and execution was just really smooth. We had the DJ, Sensational DJ was there and really, emceed the whole event for us. So overall, I think it was a smashing success.
It was great. I think you're right too. It's like, as you do these things, as you guys do these things more and more, they come smoother and smoother.
Yeah.
So, but it was very smooth. In, out, done. I think everybody was happy. The only thing I heard is, Arlette, everybody wants a golden egg. And we're like, everybody can't get a golden egg. You can't have, 200 golden eggs. So, but, there's 4 golden eggs, and that's all that goes. So,
I tell you, my family was really happy. I never overslept, but that night I overslept. I was supposed to be there. I got there late.
yeah, you did get there late.
But I overslept. I just, Jesus. And my daughter goes, where are you? You told us to be here on time. And I'm saying, I just got up. Oh, But anyway, that looked really nice. You ladies did a good job, the whole rec committee. That was really good. It was well organized, and everybody was with the flow. So that's good. It was really good.
Another great event, and the concerts are coming, and it just doesn't stop, so that's good. Now we can let CAC talk. Mickey, you're up.
I don't know, can I follow that exceptional report here? That was great.
These guys are doing well too. You're doing good.
Well, the Conservation Advisory Committee's activity for April was focused on our participation with the Milton Landing Committee and its celebration of Arbor Day. Our members enjoyed hearing Mr. Tabasco's narration of the history of the Milton Landing Sands Avenue Park. It was gratifying to know that when the site was the location of Shell Oil and then operated by Agway, the procedures were rigorously followed to ensure the environmental integrity of its soils and discharges. We encourage everyone to view and enjoy, as we did, the apple sculptures created by Marco. We understand that they will be placed in various locations throughout the town. They are truly extraordinary and highlight the beauty of our natural surroundings. Arbor Day provided the perfect opportunity to highlight the native plantings at the park that were obtained through successful grant applications for the town. To highlight the tree varieties, we placed a copy of a quiz intended to explain the importance of the trees that have been planted at the park. The questions are posted at the entrance to the dog park, and we have ordered signs that will be placed at the trees and shrubs as soon as our vendor can produce them. The markers include the name of the tree or bush and a QR code, and by going to the QR code link, the reader will get information about the tree, and it will give hints to the answers on the quiz. So we hope that the public finds the quiz to be fun and informative. We distributed 70 packs of wildflower seeds and hope that everyone who plants a pollinator garden posts a picture of the garden in bloom to our Facebook page. In other business, the town board was copied on a letter we submitted to the planning board in reference to the project called Orchards on the Hudson. We are urging the planning board to ask for a full environmental impact study Once again, we emphasize that the CAC feels that our citizens deserve the opportunity to learn the full impact of the project regarding not only those issues the CAC would be interested in, for example, drainage, watershed, lighting, etc., but also the impact on traffic, connectivity, and hamlet businesses. The full environmental impact statement would be helpful in disclosing these facts, and we urge the planning board to require it. That letter is attached to this report with a request that it be included in the minutes of this meeting. And thank you very, very much. It was a great event on Saturday.
Yeah.
Very happy to participate in that.
Yeah, the sun cleared up just in time for the unveiling of the apples, which was good.
Yeah, yeah.
They did walk through Dave's nice new grass seed, but that's
No, I think we slid through the grass.
I couldn't understand why people wouldn't walk on the established grass and not, they insisted on walking in the new topsoil with straw after it rained an inch.
Well, you know what it does point out, though?
We
The
need a-
importance of us doing something to raise money to build a ramp, a concrete
Yeah.
ramp, or some kind of walkway there.
No, I understand that, but common sense was out the window that day.
You know, it was the shortest
I
distance.
bit my tongue for an hour, believe me.
Yeah, well,
I hear
yeah,
you.
he'll fix it.
I'm gonna put something there so that, you know.
Well, perhaps we could talk too, because maybe if there's other grant opportunities that we can get some shrubs or something to line that and also have aesthetic value to it.
Okay, yeah, sure.
That might work out too.
Sure.
All right?
No problem.
Thanks.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right. You got anything else?
I do have one other thing. I went on Friday up to Wilcox Park in Dutchess County to see their splash pad.
The splash pad?
The splash pad, yes. I had a very nice meeting with the director of parks up there, and he took me through a full tour of their splash pad. So I can send you a full update, but he gave us the vendor, who installed it, the cost of the actual equipment, and then what all else is entailed with it. It's expensive.
It's expensive,
It's
right?
expensive, but it's not as expensive as I originally told you. The actual system was more in the neighborhood of 400 and something thousand.
That's all.
Yeah, just that, which is still a huge number, but not quite as huge as the all-in number, which included the full installation of it. So needless to say, this is a large project that, of course, we would have to decide as a town if it's something that we wanted to pursue.
This is a granting opportunity.
Yeah.
There's always grants out there, so you just got to look for a
Yeah.
grant that actually will fit the bill.
Yeah, but it was very interesting to see. Wilcox Park is huge, but it's very similar in vibe to our town park. There's a pond thing that they actually have fully swimmable as long as they monitor the algae.
If we were to eventually, hopefully, get a grant of any kind, where are you thinking about we could fit this there?
I don't have the slightest idea. So that's something we need probably Gary to.
Next to the pickleball?
I actually said, I texted Gary after I went up there and said, you definitely should have come with me to this meeting, and we're going to have to visit again together. But it's a pretty extensive thing. This is, we talked about this a little bit in our last meeting. There's a splash pad at Bodwin Park, which is smaller, and it doesn't recirculate. It's just, fresh water, and it goes into the ground and, seeps back in. This one at Wilcox Park is a fully chlorinated recirculating system, so it's more modern for sure and a lot more extensive. But there's, a huge pump system and a filter, and you have to check the water levels 3 times a day for the health department. So it's pretty involved. But it's very impressive as well, and I definitely would encourage you to see that park if you've never been there. It's beautiful.
All right. Yeah, I would think the Board of Health would be very involved. I'm surprised Bowden Park gets away with it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I didn't ask that question, but for the one up there at Wilcox, they definitely treat it like it's a pool, basically.
Yeah, like a pool, right?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, we need $500,000.
Wow.
Let's start fundraising.
Wow.
Everything's a $500,000, million.
That's a big fundraiser.
That's a big
Yeah.
fundraiser.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you. I think that would actually be cool the more I keep thinking about it, so that's a good idea.
Yeah, I
Splash.
mean, it sort of provides you the benefit of a pool without the lifeguarding, needing a
Yeah, yeah.
lifeguarded
You don't
situation,
need a
so
lifeguard, right?
it'd be nice for the camp too.
All right. And I got new business. Anybody on the board got any New business is the same thing as our open board discussion.
Yeah, I have a few concerns. I know you sent us an email in reference to, I had some citizens that were complaining about a water bill, and I was trying to explain to them that we had a deficit from a few years back, and we're trying to get out of a deficit. Can you elaborate with that? And because I am hearing some complaints, the water bill is getting outrageous.
Everything's getting outrageous, isn't it?
Yeah, I understand, but be more specific.
I sent you the specifics,
And so,
but I could bring them up.
yeah, but how do we get into that deficit? I told them that we're in $260-something thousand deficit that we're trying to climb out of.
Here's the numbers up here. See the numbers? How do you get in this deficit?
Yeah.
Well, when you get your water from someone else and they're doing an aqueduct upgrade and then decide that they're going to pump water out of Chadwick Lake and the charge is double what we normally get charged to do so, and they tell you that number 6 months before that, that's half of the price that they charge you 6 months later, that's how you get into a deficit. So what happens is in the beginning of the year, we budget our budget, right, for what the Newburgh tells us the water rates are going to be. Then through the middle of the year, this project started to move forward that they were actually going to shut off the water, which they did. They went to Chadwick Lake, which they did. Then we had the 2 months of no rain, right? Then they stopped, and then they put it back on. But when they switched over, they never told us in the beginning of the year that the rates were going to go way the heck up. So now we get a bill that's way higher than we anticipated, so we didn't budget for it. So you set rates based on your budget for the year. On top of that, our insurance went up this past year. The guys' pay went up this past year. The pension contribution went up this year. All these are part of the water department, right? So all those things added up, you go into a deficit. So in order to pay the water bills, you have to borrow from your general fund, right? Your fund balance. But the water district has to be paid back, right? So in order to pay it back, we have to raise the rates, right? So so we did our first billing cycle, so that's what I was showing you guys, right? Our 2024 deficit was $352,812. We're down to $215,194 right now. So we still got quite a ways to go. We took about a little over $140,000 off the deficit in this first billing cycle. But basically what that means is this number that we've been charging is probably going to have to stay in place for the entire year to get that deficit down. And then I have to find out a little more detail this year from Newburgh before we agree to the water rate. Is it going to hold for the whole year? Because the same thing, this year they're supposed to start the aqueduct turn-off switch over the end of this year again. So they want to do this work in the winter time when water usage is down, which makes sense. But last year it didn't cooperate with us because we didn't have no rain. But basically everything just, the water rates are the biggest thing. That was the biggest thing. But everything else around us went up. It's kind of like the camp. People were complaining about the camp that it went up $25 a week this year. Well, I don't know where everybody else is living, but I could tell you everything in my household went up this past year. Everything. So we're not immune to that as a town, right? As a town, we have bills, we have insurance, we have things that you pay just like you do at your house. In order to have camp, we had to raise prices. It's the same thing with the water bill. So we're not charging anybody more than what it costs us to receive the water and to pay our employees and to upkeep our system and to buy hydrants and to buy meters. These things cost money. To buy the meters, we're trying to slowly replace the meters that are out of date. It's a $250,000 prospect to get to that replacement. So it's not a cheap venture. So, and again, only people in the water district pay it. It's not the whole town pays it.
My question that I got, is it something that it's temporary till we get to a threshold?
It's
then
temporary
or it's that
when the water district rates come down. But it may be permanent. I don't know yet. I can't give you a straight answer. It all depends on the rate from Newburgh. I don't set the water rates, right? The water rates dictate by Newburgh what they charge us from New York City, who charges them, right? We also have, a bond that we're paying off from Newburgh for when they built their chlorification plant. We owe 17% of that, of what they built. That's part of the agreement in getting the water. Or we would have had to build our own plant, which would have cost us double of what we're paying now, more than double. So, look, all I can tell you is you could just tell everybody and everybody that's listening, we don't make money, right? We're charging you exactly what it costs us to run the district, and in this case, we weren't charging you enough. You can see the numbers. $352,000 deficit was what we started the year with. We're at $215,000 after the first cycle. By law, we have to pay the water district back from the general fund. That's just the way it is. I pay water bills. I'm not happy about it. So all I can tell you is that's the number.
Scott, let's also mention that this deficit was before we all came into office here.
Not really.
We depleted
But
the reserve in the water
The
department.
reserve has been depleted, yes.
And we knew that before.
Yeah.
So,
So the deficit the reserve got taken away.
and it was never replenished.
That was never replenished.
That's what I'm saying.
Basically there was two payments to Newburgh. One was for the new filterization plant and one was for back water rates. Again, a deficit of that we had from the Newburgh district. When they had that deficit a long time ago, there was a bond taken out to pay it off, right? So we had originally $1.2 million in our account. It was supposed to be for the water tower, right? But then in 2016, I believe it was, it got switched where you can use that for anything related to the water district by a board resolution. It took $888,000 of that $1.2 million to pay off that one bond, all right? To only have the one payment to Newburgh, right, for the bond. So $888,000 of that $1.2 million was wiped out. Supervisor Osborne at the time then decided he wanted to drill wells, right? I don't know if anybody remembers that time.
Yeah, I did.
To try to
Over there in
find
Granger.
if we can actually provide water for the town through wells, right? Multiple wells throughout the town. That took probably about $250,000.
It was close to 300.
Yeah, 300,000,
Yeah.
close to that to do all that work. So it pretty much depleted our funds down
That's what I was getting
to
at.
nothing. So when we had deficits, we couldn't now recoup it without using the general fund. But we are in a deficit now. I did add into the cost of your rate, there is a fee in there now to replenish that fund. So when there are issues that come about, when we have these watering breaks that are unexpected, or things or the tower needs to be replaced or refinished, that we will have the money to do it. So there is a slight amount per gallon in there for that. And we are slowly collecting that money. I think last I looked, we were up to $300,000 back in there. So, but we need that money because there's things that need to be done in the system. There's things in the system. We have to loop the system. We need to replace the tank up in Milton, or at least fix it right now. It's in dire need to get fixed. So in order to do that, we have to charge the district these rates. Again, we're not making any money here. We're just trying to maintain the system and pay our bills. That's all we're doing. Again, I'm in the same boat as everybody else. I'm in the water district. I pay the bills.
Oh,
I don't like it myself.
I'm not pointing blame. I'm just, saying.
I can't. I know everybody's hurting now. Look, like I said, everybody's bills went up on everywhere. So then when the water bill comes in and it's a lot higher than you're used to, it's just another one of those bills that you say, oh God, how am I going to pay this bill? So, yes, Mick.
Thank you for taking my question. I found out when I was watering the aluminum flax for the trees So the question is, do we already have some of the meters in stock, or do you order them together?
We're budgeting the meters by year, so we get as many as we can based on the budget we put in. So,
He does have meters, he does have meters
I mean, he
in
has them.
inventory.
I mean, if you have the money, buy them now before.
He has them, it's just that we have a budget, right? And we budget X amount of dollars, and as many as we can buy, that's what we buy. And then we slowly replace them as they go. But, you know, we're switching over systems from Badger to the new company, and it's just, we're trying to do everything slow as possible at the least cost of, like, if we really did everything all at once, this rate would be even higher than it is. I mean, you know, so we're trying to ease it in. So,
Your system does work. I got a very high order bill, and I came to ask why, because I thought it was all this catch-up.
yeah,
But my order bill was $800. That's really high. And they looked into it, I had a water leak. So a very slow leak, it took us
Yep.
forever to find it, but at least the system tells you where there's a leak.
yeah, the new system we have can basically tell you have a leak. Just-
So
it's-
Mickey, just so you
simple.
know, my building in town was $6,040. The water superintendent's my best friend. You know what he told me? Pay it or it's gonna go on your tax roll. So just so you know. 82,000 gallons a quarter. Yeah. Yeah.
He drinks a lot of water every day.
Well, you pay double, yeah.
Yes, it doubles it.
Yep.
Oh, I feel for you.
Well, thank you,
Thanks.
Mr.
I feel for me
Zambito,
too.
for paying your bill. We enjoy it.
It was a tough check to write, but
Look, it's not an easy thing to write, but I'm just telling you, we're charging what it cost us, so I don't know what else I could say about it.
No, you don't need to say anything else. It's just.
I mean, but I feel,
Yeah, no, it's-
I feel everybody's paying just as much as they do. It's not an easy thing. I do want to bring up the Tar Pond Tower lease thing again, because we talked about it last time, and I did go back and forth with them about a number. I think I sent it to you. Yeah, I did send it to you guys. About I wanted a higher number and blah, blah, blah. So, but I did, last time I said, well, I thought we were only getting 20,000. We actually get 24,000. It's because I forgot it. We do get $364 for a tenant revenue. So any additional tenant that goes on there, we get a percentage of their rate. So we get $1,656.26 a month now, $364 per month now. So which is $24,243 a year, which is good revenue, excellent revenue. So if you just took that without any increases, which there's usually about a 2% increase every so many years, it's $1.2 million basically, right, that we would get in a 50-year lease. So he came back with, he saw that he felt that we wanted to keep getting revenue every year, but possibly get a one-time payment. This is what he came back with. I'm not really sure I like this, but I figured I'd bring it up tonight again. So for their 50-year lease extension, he wants to prepay a one-time $100,000. He would just take $500 off the base rent, which means we get $1,156. Plus, we still get the $364, and any future tenants that come on there, which could be another $350 per tenant, $360 per tenant. So that would bring your annual payment down to $18,240 from $24,000. So not too bad. I mean, we're still getting $18,240 a year. If we get more tenants on there, we'd actually get more. We get $100,000 up front. But if you just took that over 50 years without any increases or any other tenants, it's 1.1 million. So you go from 1.2. It's like a $200,000 difference. I don't know if it's.
I'm
Look,
just failing to understand why
I
we're
don't know
giving
why
so
we're-
many extra years and receiving less money for this.
Well, that's the reason. The reason is they don't want to pay more, right?
Well, I get it, but.
The reason is they want to upfront pay, because look, if I'm paying you up front 50 years in advance, I want a discount too, wouldn't you? That's the point. The point is they're saying, I'm going to pay you up front X amount of dollars so I get a discount on the end. I'm not saying I agree with taking it, I'm just telling you what they're offering us. I don't agree with this, but I'm opening it up to the board.
Well, do you feel we could get a little bit more?
Look, I could keep asking. I'm just telling you what they last offered. You tell me.
I would try to see if you could get a little bit more, like shoot for 200 and settle on 150. If not, this.
You know you know how I look at this deal, how they work it? You ever go get a lease on a vehicle? At the end of the day, you can make the number up front, whatever you want, and you can make the number at the end, whatever you want, but at the end of the day, they're gonna get their money, right? They have a number in their head of where they wanna be. Either we're gonna get it up front, or we're gonna get it along
Yeah,
the 50
but we're
years.
the leaser in this equation, so we should have the number in our head, not their number in.
I have a number in my head, but in this case, he's only taking $500 off a month.
Yeah.
And he's giving us 100 grand up front. So, it's not that bad. It's not really that
Yeah,
bad of
but
a
by
deal.
the same token, you're making 24,000 a year on them, so he's giving you 4 years up front and getting an extra
Yeah, of
30 on
course.
the back.
Again, they're not gonna give you 100 grand just because they like us. They're giving us 100 grand to get a discount. It's like putting the carrot in front of the horse, right? They're saying, you want 100 grand, here it is.
Yeah,
I don't
100
think
grand is
100
chump
grand's enough,
change.
but 100 grand is nothing.
I don't think it's nearly enough money.
No, I don't.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, but
I mean, give them a ridiculous counteroffer and see where it goes.
I did give him a ridiculous count off.
And they
And he said,
Didn't
no
we,
way.
weren't we
tell them to
talking
keep
about
paying the
So I
400
just told
when we
him,
were
I
here?
said, I'll give the board, look, I could have just said no and just not even
Yeah,
brought
yeah.
this up to you guys, but I'm trying to be transparent as possible.
Yeah.
Like, I don't agree with this, but
No,
I'm
I
trying to
don't
let you
agree.
guys have a voice in
But
this.
Scott, what was your counter offer to this? Did you?
The original
We
from
talked
the
about
last one,
four.
No, did you make it-
$500,000
We
was the
said
first
we
one.
said 4 last meeting, didn't we? Was
I
we're
told him
getting closer?
$500,000
And then we went to
upfront.
1.
And they came back with 100?
Yeah.
I thought they were settling on 400.
That's,
He'll give you 400, but you're not gonna get the payment then.
Oh.
It's like a lease.
Okay.
You want 400 up front, then you're gonna get $300 a month.
I got you, all right.
Okay?
Yeah.
If you want to still get $1,150 a month, then it's $100,000 up front. He'll give you $400 up front,
Yeah,
but you're going to get $364 for the lease payment.
okay, I got you.
So again,
Yeah.
one way or another, that's how it works out. So either we want the money up front, or we just say we just keep collecting our $24,000, right?
But the thing to the point, somebody said last meeting that, hey, in 10 years with, Elon Musk going the way he's going with Starlink, it might be obsolete in 10 years, right?
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
yeah, I mean, that's
everything
good.
might change.
That's the point. You're going to give them a 50-year lease that maybe means nothing, right?
Yeah,
It could be
that's-
20 years and there's no more cell towers anyway, and we
Right,
already got our money.
right. That's a good point.
So that's why you roll the dice, right? You're rolling the dice that they're really not going to be 50 years. If you say that even if they had 25 years.
Yeah.
So I could try one more time, but again, that's how it's going to roll, because I've been back and forth with this guy 5-6 times already. So I'll offer him I'll give him another scenario and see what he says.
Yeah, but do like $150,000.
But to your point, they're not going to give us something
Right.
unless they get a break. That's how it works.
Yeah,
right?
well,
And I know
absolutely. You want to get a
guys do the
discount.
thing.
It's not
But we
possible.
are in control. We already have a lease, and we don't have to take it.
I would expect them to get I would expect them to get a break if they were keeping the term of the lease the same. But to get an extra 30 years and incur less cost than they were
Well-
committed to for 20, it seems like this is out of the ballpark of reasonable to
The
me.
reason they want 50 years is because that's how they lease to the tenants, right? In order to get a tenant on there, you're going to lease to the tenant for 50 years.
Yeah.
And if they lease to the tenant for 50 years, remember, we get the tenant lease too.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm selling you, it's
Yeah.
1.01 million, really could be 1.5 million. I don't know, because if they get 2 more tenants on there and you're getting
Mm-hmm.
$300 to $400 more per tenant, that adds into the
How
equation.
many tenants you could have?
As many as can fit on the tower. They could have 6 up there. They could have 10 up there. And in 25 years, none of us will be here, so I don't know.
Remind me how many years are left on the original? Lease.
It renews every 5 years. So right now, they could go another 20 years from what they currently have. because they're already up to their 5. There was a 25 year. They did 5. They have 20 more that they can renew.
Okay.
Yeah, I will make them a counter offer.
So what they want to do is restart the lease as a
And
50
50
year.
year. Okay.
49 years, 11 months, and then 1 payment. So, all right. I told them I'd
Moving
bring it
on.
up, so I'm bringing it up again. I didn't want to just flatly tell them no, without, because we did discuss it last meeting. All right, anybody, I got correspondence here. And this first one's from John Alonji, which goes to one of our resolutions, but he does have to give his recommendation. Supervisor Corcoran Town Board on April 16, 2025, there was a bid opening for only one item, highway material hauling. JKN Trucking was the lone bidder with the following bids. And I won't go through those because they're in our resolution, but I recommend we award the bid to the JKN Trucking, and that's from John Alonji, Highway Superintendent. There was only one bidder. I just want to let the board know too, is we did purchase a new hauling vehicle truck this year. It was part of our budget. So a lot of this stuff is going to be hauled within our own department. This is in case something happens to our truck or we need an extra truck, that we have this in place. So hopefully we won't be using this much, but it's there.
A backup, got
It's
it.
a backup. And this one is to whom it may concern. Hello, my name is James L. Lester. I'm Assistant Scout Leader at Troop 72. At this time, Troop 72 would like to request the use of the town park for a camp weekend. We are looking to be able to camp at the park May 30th and May 31st, vacating on June 1st, 2025. There will be approximately 15 to 20 scouts and 5 to 6 scout leaders. My number is, I won't say it, and thank you in advance for your time and your continued support of the Scouts. Sincerely, James L. Lester. So, May 30th, yeah, that doesn't affect with any recreational stuff that I'm aware of, and doesn't do anything with camp. So, I would say I'm in favor, so I will make a motion to allow Troop 72 to use the park for their annual camp out. From May 30th and vacating on June 1st, 2025.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, so moved. Thank you. Anybody got any public comments? And we're moving on. So, let's go to resolution. No, does anybody got a public? I think we talked enough, right? Resolution number 56. So this town policy comes from our town clerk's office doing their due diligence. So the state in their things, state's always asking us to do extra things. Oh, I didn't get this one. You got another one? Oh, Danielle's sending me another correspondence. Meet me in Marlborough, the town board report. We invite local businesses, civic groups, and school groups not for public and organizations to participate in the upcoming fun community events. For more information, please visit www.meetmeinmarlborough.com. And Monday, Sunday, 5/4 at 10 a.m. is the Blossom Street Fair in Hamlin and Milton. On Sunday, 5/18, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. is the May Flea Market at Milton Hardware. October, Saturday, 10/4, and Sunday, 10/5 is a rain date. The Bounty Festival is 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. at Cluett-Chance Park. In November, Saturday, 11/22, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. is buy local event, the Thanksgiving Farmers Market at the MES School, and that's from Meet Me in Marlborough. Thank you, Daniel. This policy is something that the clerk's office was notified of. It's the Freedom of Information Act. When someone foils for a request, that if they're foiling for information on an employee, that the employee be notified, and we have to have a policy on that. So there's a policy that's written. It's pretty much a boilerplate policy, but it's to give the employee a notification that, hey, someone is foiling for your information, and that they know about it. So that's pretty much what this resolution is for. So Resolution 56, to adopt a town policy. Supervisor Corcoran proposes the following. Whereas on Chapter 302 of the laws of 2024, amendment Article 6 of Freedom of Information Law, FOIL, to include a mandate that all agencies subject to requirements of article shall develop a policy regarding providing a notification to public employees in the event that the agency is responding to a request of such employees' disciplinary records, Public Office Law, Section 87-6, and whereas the intent of the amendment is that the impacted public employees should have minimum notice when their personal information has been released to the public, and whereas the amendment became effective on September 4th, 2024, and whereas the Marlborough Town Board desires to implement the above mandate by adopting a policy to be known as the Policy on Employee Notification of Disciplinary Records Request under FOIL, which policies is attached in Exhibit A. The policy, now therefore be resolved by the Town Board, the town policy is hereby adopted, ratified, and approved, and the foregoing resolution was duly voted for as follows. If anybody's interested, this is all on our site. But like I said, it's just basic stuff. It's just giving the employee information that they know that their information is going out to the public, which it can be, as everybody knows if they work for a town or a municipality. All their information is public knowledge. So, and it results in the following. Yes.
Yes.
Hold on. Hold on. Strike that and reverse it.
Sorry, Councilperson Copy. I got a little thrown off. I actually have some lawyers that we have to make sure they put council member or person.
Thank you.
Yes.
You're reading like that. Okay. Councilperson Zambito.
Yes.
Yes.
I don't think you asked me.
No, you said, you went
Oh,
first.
you did say me first, okay? Just want to make sure, because you interrupted me. I'm not confused.
Oh, boy.
All right.
Where is it?
We have a great board, don't we? We can have fun up here. It's not like so stuffy in here, right? It's great. All right. Resolution 57 toward the fuel items. So this is also one of the bids that were put out. Again, we only had one bidder this time. I'm not sure why we only had one bidder, but we did. So whereas a legal notice appeared in the official newspaper for the town of Marlborough requesting bids for the town fuel needs, and whereas on April 16, 2025, all bids were opened and read aloud. Now therefore be resolved that the following bids are awarded. Item number 1, heating oil, Russo fuel, and propane at .389 gallons over Journal Commerce Albany reseller tank car, only one bid received. Item number 2, propane, Russo fuel, and propane, .389 cents a gallon over Selkirk, New York, posting, only one bid received, and moves for its adoption.
Councilwoman Sessa.
Yes.
Councilman Copy.
Yes.
Councilman Zambito.
Yes.
Supervisor Corcoran.
Yes. And this is the highway items. Resolution number 58 to award the highway items. Supervisor Corcoran proposes the following. Whereas a legal notice appeared in the official newspaper of the town board requesting bids for materials for town Marlborough Highway Department, and whereas on April 16, 2025 were open and read aloud, and whereas Superintendent of Highway has recommended the following items. Item number 1, material hauling, JKN Trucking, Inc., the only one bid received. 10-wheel dump truck per hour, $110. Triaxle dump truck per hour, $135. Triaxle dump trailer per hour, $190. Quad axle dump trailer per hour, $190. And moves for its adoption.
Yes.
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 Yes. Resolution 59, to appoint a part-time police officer. Supervisor Clerk proposes the following. Whereas the police committee has interviewed for the position of part-time police officer, and whereas it is a recommendation of the police committee, as well as the chief of police, to appoint Alexander Rolland, be it resolved that Alexander Rolland be appointed to part-time police officer effective immediately, and moves for its adoption.
Yes.
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 Yes. This is the pilot agreement for, so when we have solar companies, solar farms that are going to be put up. This one is up on Milton Turnpike here. It's called Highland 201 Solar LLC. kind of throws you off because it's called Highland. You think of Highland, but it's not Highland, it's on the Turnpike. What they're required to do is give us notice that they're putting in this solar farm, and either we create a pilot or they don't pay anything. So, of course, we're going to say, yes, you're going to create a pilot because we want your money. When they first came back, they only wanted to give us 4,000 per megawatt. I talked to Mike Rydell at the school, and we both thought it was low. I talked to our assessor, we came up, and I told them we want 5,000, and they were kicking and screaming, but they gave us the 5,000 for it. So we have a pilot agreement in place for 15 years. It's a long document.
What does that equate to?
So
Money-wise?
money-wise, that's what I'm getting to, because that's the main thing, everybody. I'm not going to read all this, because this is a lot to read. But what it equates to is this, because there's three entities, right? It's the town, the school, and the county. And so we all have to agree, which here we are. So this is our payment schedule. So like first year, county gets 2,000, we get 45, the school gets almost 14. By the end, they get 26, we get 6, they get 18. So that's how it works out. Right now we get nothing. So it's the pilot agreement. And we have quite a few of these. And there's going to be a couple more coming. Because a lot of people are putting up these solar farms. A lot of the farms are cutting off pieces of the property to make solar farms. These are the agreements. These are long agreements. Most of it's boilerplate, I will tell you. But the school district's happy with it now. The county's happy with it now. I'm a lot more happy with it now. So you can see here where they changed it to the 5,000 per megawatt. And and moves for its adoption.
Councilwoman Sessa?
Yes.
Councilman Cappy?
Yes.
Councilman Zambito?
Yes.
Supervisor Corcoran?
Yes. Yeah, I don't want to be here for an hour reading this. I think that's it.
Yeah.
Manny, you're up.
Okay, it's 8 o'clock, right on the dot. I make a motion to adjourn tonight's meeting.
I need a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Yes.
Aye.
Aye, so moved. Have a good night, everybody. Good week.